This lesson is going to be covering formatting and styling. So let's apply some different styling to this text, and then we can use the paint format and make a selection, and that styling and font will be applied to that new selected content. Also updating the different format styles for such as the headings, where we can apply different heading styles. So if we want to update the font, and then we can update to all of the headings, so that will now be applied to all of the H1s. So that's what we're going to be covering in this lesson. Within the Google Doc, you can also add in more different types of font. So if we want to select, and for the heading under the fonts, there's an option for more fonts. With the more fonts, this opens up the font options that you can bring more fonts into your Google Doc. The current fonts are going to be listed on the left-hand side, and selecting the different fonts, these will allow you to then start using those fonts within the Google Doc. So now when I select OK, and I select from the font drop-down, I've got my listing of the recent fonts that I've used within the documents, and I also have the new fonts that I've brought in to my project. So now I can select that font and I can apply it to one of the headings. If I want to apply it to all of the headings, I can select under the drop-down where it's got the styles, and this is going to be heading 1. And under the heading 1, if you scroll and hover on top of it, on the right-hand side, you're going to be able to see that you apply heading 1. And what this will do is this is going to update it back to the default of heading 1. You can also set and update heading 1s to match this current style. So selecting that, now if I go down to the other heading 1s, they're all going to be matching that style. If I create some new content and apply heading 1 to that, it's now also going to match that new style. In order to default back to the original heading, you can apply the heading 1. And under the options, you can set and reset the styles. If you've updated and set your styles for the document, you can then save them as the default styles. And now this particular font will be used for heading 1 if I select it as the default style on all of my documents. Or you can set and reset them back to your default styles by using the use default styles. So now within the document, that heading 1 has now gone back to that original font, which was the Arial font. If I want to update all of the normal text, you can do the same. We're updating the size of the normal text, and then going under the normal text and select the update normal text to match. It's going to match all of the normal text to that selected font style. If I want to apply a particular color, so let's add some color into the font and also apply some font styling. So now I can select that font, and I can use the paint format in order to apply that same styling to any other text that I'm selecting and highlighting. So once again, you select the styling that you want to use, and then the paint format, and then go over to where you've got text, and that will apply that particular styling to the selection of the text. Now, if you want to go back to your default, or if you want to clear any of the formatting that's been added, you can select the content. And under the format, there's an option to clear the formatting. So this is also can be done with the shortcut. So select the clear formatting, and that's going to clear formatting on the selection. If you want to remove it from everything, you can do an edit, select all, or the shortcut for selecting all of the content, and that's going to select all of the content that we have our page. And then under the format, once we've made the selection, we can clear formatting, and that will clear any of the formatting that was just applied and bring it back to whatever the default formatting was that we want to use. Also notice that the normal text is still using the Verdana font, because that's the font that's currently being applied to normal text. If I select apply normal text, it's going to stay with that font. So once again, going back down to the options and go using the default font, this is how you can reset it back to the original default font. Under the format, There's also the same options that we just saw where you can bold, italic, underscore. You can change, increase the size, decrease the size. There's also an option for capitalization. So you can change all of your text to lowercase, change it up to uppercase, or to capitalize it using the title text. So this is a quick and easy way that you can capitalize the text content. So if you do have it capitalized, let's bold it, apply some color to it, and now we'll use the paint format in order to select other text. And what it's only going to do, it's not going to apply the capitalization, but it will only apply the stellar color styling. So the capitalization is going to be different. And if we do a clear formatting, that capitalization is still going to stay within the text. So that's under text. And if you want to bring it back to the title case, which it originally was, you can reset it back to the title text. There's also different paragraph styles that we saw that from the quick menu, and you can do the same where you've got the normal text in all the different sizes, and then also the options for the default styles. There's also an align and indent. So the align option, so this is the same as within the quick menu where we can select text, align it, and there's also the justify option, which will justify it so it's even on the left and the right hand side. And that's all under the format options. There's also different columns, so if you want to have a 2-column page, you can add in 2 columns. And actually we need to select the content that we want to apply that formatting to. So going back in here and now selecting it as 2 columns, that's going to apply that page formatting as 2 columns. To bring it back down to 1, we need to once again make a selection of the content and then bring it back down to the 1 column, or you could always undo and redo within the edit options. There's also the bullets and numbering. So for the different list options, the different list type of bullets that we can do, and we can also set in different check boxes. So let's select the list, and under the format for bullets, we can set this to a numbered list. We can also set this to bulleted list. And under the format options, we can list out all the options and change it back into the check boxes. So check boxes allow you to check, and they're automatically going to strike through the text that's associated with the list item. The same options are also available as shortcuts and within the shortcut menu here at the top. You can also hide this shortcut menu by hiding the menus or pressing the Control-Shift-F. That will hide the menu. So that will get rid of all of the top menus and only leaving the shortcut menu. And if you want to bring the menus back, you can push the down button, and that's going to once again show the different menus. So selecting the lists, you can update the list type. The way that the lists work, they're all going to be tied together. So if you are selecting within the one list, you can't have a number, a bullet point, and a check mark within the same list. They all have to have the same indicators. So let's go ahead and we'll select the document and select all of it, and we'll do any of the clear of the formatting that we had within the document.